Well, what is? Let me ask you before you go. What is the? Because the media, they do kind of stink, and it seems like they're starting to catch up with what MMA really is. What is something that they'll say to you that you're like, oh, this guy has no idea what the fuck he's talking
I just think it's getting worse and worse.
Oh, really?
I think it's worse. I think it's, it's like with this whole Ariel Helwani thing. It's more about, what can I sneak and get out and steal from the fans? The excitement, enjoyment of the fans seeing it when it comes out instead of actually doing some real journalism. So, yeah.
Let me about the Ariel incident, which is part of that almost like the UFC has gotten so big. Is that almost a victim of the success of the UFC? Like, wow, man, it's harder to control the narrative than it used to be because
it's not even about controlling the narrative. There's so much more to that thing than was represented. Sure. I know he threw a big pity party for himself and all that shit, but there was a lot more to it. A lot more people were involved in that thing, and it almost blew up a huge relationship that I wouldn't even get into publicly. Okay. That's why we just came out with a statement. I don't know. It was dirty. He knows it was dirty, and he threw a big pity party for himself, crying on camera and shit. It's fucking just ridiculous. So it is what it is. None of that shit's going to change. Ariel Helwani knows. I've done a lot of shit for Ariel Helwani. And it's just, whatever, man.
But you gave him at the end of the day. You gave him a pass at the end of the day, right? He took a little whipping, but is he back in decent graces?
Yeah. He got his credential back. I wouldn't say he's in decent graces.
I don't even know if
he got his credential back, but it's just we built that promo. And a lot of people were quiet about it, and a lot of people, it was for the fans. That thing's for the fans, for that wow factor to be there and go, oh, wow, Brock's back. And the way that he did it, it had a lot of people pointing fingers at each other. You notice I wasn't out there putting the belt on Dominic Cruz. Then when I ran out to put the belt on Bisping, because I've been with Bisping for 10 years, he's such a great guy. My sleeves are rolled up. I got no jacket on because I'm dealing with the aftermath of the weasel move that he pulled. People can call it journalism or whatever. We can have our differences of opinion on that, but he knows what he did, and he did it on purpose.
And what's funny,
he goes on fucking thing, and he's crying and shit. And dude, your kids are gonna see that for Christ's sakes.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
And you know what it is? I knew what kind of. I
threw a big pity. Yeah. What the bottom line is this: it was all about Ariel.
Yeah.
Journalism is supposed to be when you're a guy that covers the sport. It's about the sport. That what we did, that spot and everything, was for the fans, and a lot of good people worked hard to pull that thing off and to make that thing happen and to try to keep it a secret, including the WWE. And a lot of things were set in place. They graciously let us, have Brock Lesnar, and a lot of things were set in place for them that had to be done. And it left a lot of people pointing the finger at each other, almost blew up a relationship and created a lot of bad blood behind the scenes. And he didn't care. It was all about him. And then even after it was over, it was all about him and his big world tour pity party that he threw for himself. Then he goes on crying on his show and shit.
Is that something that could have happened with you said journalist? Is that one of those things that, like, if he didn't do it, and I don't know anything about that behind the scenes stuff.
But nobody else does that. When you're a real journalist, you reach out and you say, hey, this is the rumor, this is going on and everything else, and I'm going to run with it. You know what I mean? That's what the real journalists do. He's a website guy. You know what I mean? It's just a totally different world now. There's still a lot of real journalists out there that before they do something, they reach out and show that respect and have that relationship. Whereas, he's not that guy. And a lot of people, support him and good for you and all that stuff. But a lot of people have turned on him too.
Is there a way for that relationship with you two to be mended, do you think?
I don't know. I'm not really that guy. You know me, man. When you go that way with me, I don't know. I'm hard to get back.
And I was with you that day, and I remember you being like, "Oh, I got a surprise," and I'm happy that you didn't tell me because then
that's the thing.
All my people made you talk to that fucker.
No, it's true though. All my people that surround me didn't even know. A lot of people didn't know. So it makes you when the loop is that small. And you got all these different people involved. When that happened, a lot of people were pointing the fingers at each other, and something like that can really hurt people and hurt the sport. And it just, but it's all about him. It's all about him at the end of the day.
Has that
and you
changed-
saw that, and you saw that with that and after that it's just all about him.
Has that changed the way you're going to guard or deal with information when you guys have something?
You better fucking believe it, brother. You better believe it.
And when that happened, do you look at somebody else and go like, now who can I trust and who can I not trust?
That's the problem. That's the problem. And he almost destroyed a relationship 15 years in the making.
Wow.
And other relationships, you know?